Hello everyone, welcome back to Chemistry Chronicles, where we make chemistry simple, engaging and fun. This is our first video on petrochemistry, and our topic for today is nomenclature of alkanes. So let's get started. Hydrocarbons having carbon-carbon single bond are called alkanes. There is a systematic way to name alkanes. Today we will try to name some alkanes using these rules. Let us try to name the first alkane here. The first rule is to identify the longest carbon chain. Let's count the number of carbons then. Each corner is one carbon. Here there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons. Let's check the other ones as well. Here there are 1, 2, 3 carbons. And the last one has 2 carbons. Therefore, we can say that the longest chain in the entire compound is the middle chain. Now comes our second and third rule, which is identifying the branches and numbering the longest chain from the closest branch. The longest chain is known as the parent chain, and any other chains or branches attached to the carbons of that chain are called subsequent groups, or we can also call them branches. As you can see, both the branches are equidistant from the corners, so it doesn't matter from where you start numbering. I will start from the left side. So I numbered the parent chain and I find that there are 6 carbons because each corner is 1 carbon. A total of 6 carbons in the parent chain gives me the name hex, and since they are all connected in single bond, I get the name ane. With the third carbon of the parent chain, there is 1 carbon attached, and with the fourth carbon, there are 2 carbons attached. So, if there is 1 carbon, we get the name meth, and if there are 2 carbons, we get the name eth. Now, note that if while writing the names of the branches, we have to add YL, okay, and they should be named alphabetically, and this is our fourth rule. Since E comes before M, while naming the compound, we have to write eth before meth. As the ethyl group is in the fourth carbon of the parent chain, first we will write the number and then we will write the name of the branch. So our name will start with 4-ethyl, 3-methyl. 3-methyl because the methyl group is in the third carbon of the parent chain, and then we write the name of the entire family, which is hexane. Hexane because there are 6 carbons in the parent chain. You have to always remember the names of the numbers. So the name of the first compound is 4-ethyl 3-methyl hexane. Now let's move on to the next one and try to solve it using the same rules. To find the parent chain, we have to count the number of carbons. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can easily say from looking that this is the longest chain in the entire compound and has 9 carbons. So we get the name non. And since all the carbons are bonded in single bond, we get the name ane. Our next step is to identify the branches. We can clearly see there are 3 branches, and according to our rule number 3, we will try to start numbering from the carbon that is closest to a branch. Even though we can see which carbon is closest to the branch, we will still check. So we can see on the left side the branch starts from the 5th carbon, and on the right side the branch starts from the 3rd carbon. So obviously we have to start numbering from the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As you can see, there are 2 branches coming out from the 3rd carbon of the parent chain, having 1 carbon each. That means these 2 are methyl groups. Similarly, there's 1 branch coming out from the carbon 5 of the parent chain, having 1 carbon. Therefore, this is also a methyl group. Since we have 3 methyls, the naming this time will be a little different. Since there is no other group than methyl, rule number 4 does not apply here. So the name will be 3,3,5 trimethyl nonane. Ane because there are only single bonds in the entire compound. Non because the parent chain has 9 carbons. Trimethyl. Tri means 3. So instead of writing 3-methyl, 3-methyl, 5-methyl nonane, we wrote 3,3,5 trimethyl nonane to make the name shorter and easier to understand. Let's try to solve some more problems. Here we can find the longest chain clearly, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons. That gives us the name hex, and since all the carbons are bonded in single bond, it gives us the name ane. We have to start numbering from the right because the branch is closer to the right carbons. Let's number the longest chain then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. The total number of carbons in the longest chain or the parent chain is 6. So we get the name hex. And since all of them are bonded in single bond, we get ane. As you can see, there is only 1 carbon attached to the 3rd carbon of the parent chain. That means the branch is methyl group. Now let's complete the naming. So the name of the compound will be 3-methyl hexane. Let's try to solve one more problem. As usual, we will find the longest chain, and in this case the longest chain is this, which has 3 carbons. As there are equal number of carbons on each side, it doesn't matter from where you start numbering. I will start from the left. 1, 2, 3. In the second carbon, we can see there are 2 carbons attached to it. That means this group is an ethyl group. In this case, the name of the compound will be 2-ethyl propane. Since there are 3 carbons in the longest chain or in the parent chain, we wrote prop. And since all the carbons are bonded in single bond, we added ane to it. Ane stands for alkane. Prop means 3. I'm writing these side notes for your better understanding. 2-ethyl means there is an ethyl group or a branch in the second carbon of the parent chain. We will solve 2 more problems and then I will give you some practice. We can clearly see that this is the longest chain in the compound. So this will be our parent chain. Let's identify the substituent groups. We can clearly see that there are 2 substituent groups and each one of them have 1 carbon. Now it's time to number the longest chain. We will have to number from the left because this is the closest to the branch. As you can see, there are a total of 5 carbons in the parent chain and there are 2 methyl groups attached to the second and third carbon of the parent chain. So the name of this compound will be 2,3 dimethyl pentane. We get the name ane because all the carbons are bonded in single bond and there are a total of 5 carbons in the longest chain, therefore comes the name pent. We have written 2,3-dimethyl because there are 2 methyl groups attached to the second and third carbon of the parent chain. And to make the name shorter and easier, we have written 2,3 dimethyl instead of 2-methyl 3-methyl. Now try to solve these problems using the rules mentioned in the previous slides. This was all for today. Thank you so much. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.